Hello and welcome to the Complete Lakers podcast. I'm Anthony Wilson, recording from Los Angeles, California. Joining me again is David Galvis. Galvis, how are you?
What up? What up?
All right, it's been a busy day in the NBA as far as trades go. Still 2 days before the deadline. There's a lot of action today. We'll get to that in a moment. But I wanted to start with LeBron James being named an All-Star reserve. I don't remember. I mean, LeBron. When's LeBron not an All Star? What is this? What year 23? What is this like? 20 times that he's been an All Star or something like that. But obviously, he missed the first 18 games of the season. You know, and he's been really good since he's been back. But you look at some of the people he missed. He made the team over. He made the team over Austin Reaves. Now, Austin Reeves' problem is that he was well on his way, but his problem was that he's missed the last month plus now. Then Dylan Brooks, who's been the second best player in Phoenix, as they've been the most probably maybe the most surprising team in the league. And then also Kawhi Leonard, who he also was missing games early, but he's been just so good since he's been healthy and playing. Um, and then in the East, you had I thought it was I didn't like that Norman Powell made the team over Brandon Ingram, and because Ingram has been he's kind of the Raptors are as good as they've been it's probably since the year after Kawhi left. So, but guys, how do you feel about obviously LeBron, an all-time great, one of the top 3 or 4 players to ever play? People pointed out that Kobe at the end of his career, he got a few, but see, the fans voted Kobe in, right, when he was making his last few All-Star teams. And there was that year with Jordan where he was a reserve. That's more like what this is, Jordan's last year. And that was the year when Isaiah Thomas begged somebody to let Jordan start. I think it ended up being Vince Carter who gave his starting spot to Jordan for that last All-Star game Jordan played in. And what is your take? Like, do you think LeBron, deserved basically like I mean, it's like I can't say it's a career achievement because he's already been an All-Star so many times before. It's just sort of like a parting gift almost. How do you feel about
Yeah, I mean, so it depends how you're gonna label it, though. Like you said, if it's a lifetime achievement or a Kobe Bryant towards the end of his career or Jordan when he came back, then that's fine. But if you're gonna label it as he deserved to be there as a player, then that's where you have you know um, some issues, right? Like you said, as a player, did not deserve to go over Kawhi. Don't think he deserved to go over Austin Reaves, even though Austin Reaves, missed kind of better part of a month already almost, in terms of overall games played. But it just goes to show, man. I mean, when you're a figure like LeBron, where you're loved and you're hated, the people that don't like you are gonna find ways to shit on this, All Star selection. And if you're a LeBron fan, then you're gonna look for um stats or whatever just for his favor. Um, he's definitely for a 42-year-old has been amazing, right? I think he's exceeded even our expectations. Um, but again, that I don't think that means he should have been an All Star though.
it? Yeah, I mean, like I get it, but also obviously I mean, I would say probably Dylan because Reeves has missed the last like I said, he hasn't played since Christmas. But
Yeah,
he's having the best like all around out of Reeves, Brooks, and Kawhi. Injuries not being a factor, Reeves would be the most um the most deserving
yeah,
person. The Clippers are just
yeah,
now like they started so poorly and they started catching up. But Kawhi missed a bunch of games, but Dylan Brooks, he's really changed everywhere Dylan Brooks goes, the team gets better. You know, uh,
yeah.
like the Grizzlies haven't been the same since he left. The Rockets, they got back on track last year with him, and now the Suns are probably, like I said, maybe the most surprising team in the league. And this might be
Yeah.
like the
And
only. Go ahead.
no, sorry, go ahead.
I said this might be the only year that somebody like Dylan Brooks gets a chance to be an All Star. So, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
When's the All Star game? Next Saturday?
Yeah, I guess it's next.
next Sunday.
I mean, it'll be Sunday. Yeah.
So there might be some injuries, some replacements, of course, um, things like that. But Dylan Brooks is definitely. I don't think um, he's very well liked by the fans, but he's one of those players where it's kind of like, uh, what was his name? Patrick Beverly. Remember
Hmm.
Patrick Beverly?
Hmm.
We hated him. I mean, not want to use the word hate. I mean, like, it's just annoying as a player.
Hmm.
And the second he comes on the Lakers, we love the guy,
Hmm.
right? So Dylan Brooks would definitely be one of those players where you love to have him on your team, and you would hate to play against him or root against him.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, from here till the All Star, I mean, you can't, however you feel about him as a player, his antics, things like that, you can't take away that he deserved to at least be like the last player selected for the All Star team.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the game being in LA, LeBron, I don't think. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
some people act like LeBron might actually retire after the season. I don't think. Everything we know about LeBron says that he will want a
His
farewell.
ego, his ego's too big. He
Right.
needs that retirement. He needs that retirement tour, things like that. You know, but one thing I was gonna ask you is, how would you feel if you were LeBron though? That because LeBron's not dumb. He knows he probably didn't deserve it. How would you feel if they gave it to you just out of, I wouldn't say pity, but kind of like, we're gonna give it to you because you're LeBron and it's your 23rd year.
Well, guys, I think see LeBron and Kobe are two different people than Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan was an original, right? And if you notice, Michael Jordan was somebody who Michael Jordan never acted like he was bigger than the game. you know. And he always like even later people would ask him, you know, he never called himself the goat. He said because how can I say that? How can I say that when I watch Jerry West, I watch Dr.
Yeah,
J, I watch David Thompson. What about those people? And what about the people that I never played against?
he
You
never
know,
played against.
right?
Well,
Exactly.
and,
So
yeah.
Jordan was like a more humble person. If you remember, in 2003 when we were in high school, we were freshmen in high school, when Jordan played his last All Star game, and Mariah Carey came out there in that Jordan jersey dress. But Jordan
Uh
was
huh.
acting kind of like sheepish, like he didn't like having all that attention
Yeah.
just on him. Like he didn't really, and he didn't really get like a farewell tour in the sense of like a
Yeah.
Kareem got. So, but see, Kobe watched Jordan and tried to emulate Jordan without really he was copying somebody who he did, but he didn't. Jordan was different on the inside, right? And so like Kobe and LeBron, also Michael Jordan going to North Carolina and learning from Dean Smith. Michael Jordan was he wasn't a selfish person really, but like Kobe and LeBron, they came from the era of like entitlement and me first and stuff like that. So I think something like LeBron would probably like, oh, damn, I'm LeBron James. He don't even like Dylan Brooks, and he
Yeah.
and he like Austin Reeves, but he respect Kawhi. They were like, oh, what the? I'm LeBron James. Yeah, well, I feel bad about somebody giving me an All Star spot as much as I've done for the game. So, that's why I think he probably just.
Yeah, but then that would be okay. You're going in as an ambassador of the game, not as a player.
Mm,
You know, because you're really taking away an all-star spot from someone. The NBA should just every year they should. I mean, you're kind of watering down the all-star selection, but I feel like every year they should give it to like a retiring or an aging player who maybe wouldn't have gotten voted in, but like for example, is LeBron playing like an all star? Probably not, but he's top two or three players of all time, so it's fine. But if you designate a des like a, I don't know, a player who's been remarkable and he's kind of the twilight of his career, East and West, you add that extra spot, he's not really going to play, and that's that he doesn't take away a spot from someone who's deserving, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like so that could have been LeBron this year in the East. I don't know, whoever's up there in age and he's kind of in the twilight. They could have thrown him on there, you know. Um, for example, like Udonis Haslam, who's with Miami for like 20 almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
In his last year, he could have been one of those, you know, designated players. But again, like I said, that kind of cheapens the All Star selection.
Well, you just compare LeBron to Udonis Haslam?
No, I'm saying Udonis has or some. I just thought of a name, but I'm just saying somebody who's in their late 30s, who like they probably wouldn't get chosen as an all-star, but because he's done a lot for the game and he's been around for so long, you know, um, someone who maybe hasn't made an all-star game in years. I just thought of Udonis Haslam because he was with one team for so long and he played for like 20 years.
Okay.
You know,
Um, is that all you have on that? Or,
yeah, or sorry, not like Shaq, right? Shaq
yeah.
when he was with the Celtics towards the end,
Right.
or with the Cavs, where it's like he's no longer an all star, but he's been an all star his whole career. He's one of the greatest of all time. Let's use a designated all star selection for someone like a Shaq. Sorry, now you're done this.
Oh,
Shaq.
you saying like an extra slot for somebody like
Yes,
that.
like an extra slot.
Oh,
A Dwayne Wade in his last year. Like remember how they did one with Dirk and Dwayne Wade?
yeah.
How they added them? Something like they should do something like that.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna segue now. Unless you have anything else, you got anything else on that? Is that it?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll segue now to we got a couple comments on the last episode from people who listen, obviously on YouTube. And the first one I was gonna read is since we were already talking about LeBron. A listener named Bob Maz, that's his username on YouTube. He left a comment in response to us saying that LeBron doesn't really want to leave the Lakers because he loves LA, he loves the lifestyle, he loves the weather, and he came here for a reason, which was to live in Los Angeles. He don't want to really go back to Cleveland. And this guy Bob Moss said, "Don't matter, he has to go. He's not welcomed here anymore." Um,
Mm.
guys, do you feel? I feel like Bob Moss. The part where he says he's not welcomed here anymore, that does seem to be sort of the consensus kind of amongst like Lakers fans. Doesn't it feel like most Lakers fans wish Lakers would just be done with LeBron now.
The report with Jeannie Buss didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
We in see that's what people need to understand, right? We're Laker fans. We're spoiled, right? And so we think the Lakers are the end all be all for NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why we think that, and I'll elaborate a little more when we talk about the trading deadline, is we always get what we want. We always have at one point the best player in the league on our team, right? The only
Mm-hmm.
time we didn't was the Jordan era. That was only what, maybe 7, 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that we've always had like Jordan. I'm sorry, Magic and Kareem and all that. So it almost seems like LeBron was trying to bully the Lakers into doing stuff his way or the highway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always said this, and I always say this: I'm a Laker fan before I'm anything.
Mm-hmm.
So is LeBron the same player he was when he first got here? Of course not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course not. But he's still a damn good player. He just cannot be the second option anymore. He'd be a great third option. Um, Luca, LeBron, and Austin Reeves have only played 8 games together this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to say let's get rid of LeBron because we haven't seen them three. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if Austin has proved himself that he can be the legit number 2 player. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I guess playing with Luca, I don't think that Austin, but if Austin Reeves as good as Kyrie, like you, your gut says no, right? But the production is what it is, you know.
Right.
But you
Yeah,
don't
just
really
because you wouldn't think of Austin Reeves in the same breath as
Kyrie,
Kyrie.
right? But Austin Reeves be hooping though, right? But it's one of those weird things. I mean, I guess because we've already seen Luca with Kyrie, so Luca was another guard who can create and score pretty much at will, and then like just a few, like a bunch of, like I said, worker bees, guys who can run and jump and play defense, and they made the finals. They beat OKC in the second round. They beat Minnesota in the conference finals. Yeah, Dallas made the finals a couple of years ago. So yeah, you know, so it's like okay, if you like the thing about it is that it's always getting harder. You know, like Minnesota's supposedly trying to get Giannis. You know, and Giannis might like wants to go there. You know, so it's like what happened, what worked a couple of years ago, it might not work. You might need more. You have to be better. So, I mean, I guess I hope that Austin is good enough. Is just
Yeah.
I mean, like if Austin was a like this kid Con Knipple, right? He was like a top 5 pick or something like that. And he's cold, right? But Austin, because Austin was just he would have been a second round pick, but he chose to go undrafted so the Lakers could select you know, so he could sign with the Lakers. But if you know if Austin had been a top 5 pick, it's just, but what I'm saying is basically still a part of us that thinks of Austin as like an underdog, you know,
Yeah.
who didn't even
The
get
dar the a darling.
right, exactly. So it's hard to
Yeah.
think that he's you know Kyrie was we didn't know Kyrie since he was in high school, and then like what he only played like 13 games at Duke and was still the number 1 pick. You know, he's a
Yeah.
super. He's one of the all-time talented guards to probably ever play the game. Some people say that he's the most skilled player to ever play the game. So Austin has worked himself to the point of being as good as he is, but it's still hard to look at him in the same way that we look at somebody like Kyrie because their pedigrees are so
Yeah.
different.
Because he's not, he's not flashy. He's not athletic. He's not fast. He's not, he does everything really well, but he does nothing great.
Right,
You know, he's a solid B all around. There's like he's not an A in anything,
right, but
but he's not a C either. You
right.
know,
So,
but not to really go off the rails, but like I said, it just I would hate for LeBron, to just get rid of him just because, but you know, um, if he can help this team, why not, right? The
but
problem I think with the Lakers is LeBron's too old to play defense anymore, and then Luca is just he is what he is. He's just not gonna play great defense.
mm,
You what's gonna happen when they have to play SGA in the playoffs, or Jamal Murray, or Ant Man, or who else are these elite guards? Who else?
SGA,
Um,
Murray, and
SGA, Murray, Kawhi on the wing, like basically all the great wing players.
yeah, uh,
Um, like who's gonna be able? Who can they say? I mean, yeah, I guess you could put Vando on there, but it's Vando. It's not like it's a great, um,
you need a bunch of
he's
guys.
not a great offensive.
Vander
Yeah,
by
he's not a
himself
great.
ain't gonna do it. You know, you need like
Yeah,
OKC have Caruso, they have Cason Wallace, they have a bunch of different guys that they can just
yeah.
throw at you.
Steph, Devin Booker,
Hmm.
KD, Jamal. Like these are all great. And then if you're able to make it, to the finals, you got Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, who's a
Hmm.
freaking, you know, all world player now. These guys, I mean, you know, but kind of transitioning into um the rest of the NBA. What was the other comment?
Because the other
Because
comment was the other comment was from a fella named Frankie K2691. He said, "LOL," because remember you asked me did I think Luca and Giannis would work together, and I said yeah. And this guy Frankie K2691 said, "LOL, Lakers don't have any assets. All you'll have is some cap space this offseason. You have no young talent. You have no picks. And Luca doesn't play defense and needs the ball. Giannis already tried playing with a ball dominant guard. Didn't work. He needs to play with Steph. Steph is more dangerous off ball than he is on. They're perfect." And obviously the ball dominant guard that Frankie's talking about was Dame. And that didn't work. So this guy basically said that Luca and Giannis wouldn't work, and that should try to Giannis and Steph would work. And that's allows me to segue into um, like I said,
well,
the Warriors are supposedly putting Draymond Green in the trade talks to try to get Giannis.
well, listen, Wilson. It sounds like this guy. Okay, based off this guy's comment, would you say he's a Laker fan or a Laker hater?
A Laker hater. He's saying y'all.
Hater, right? Okay.
He's
So
saying you like
this
he's
is
talking
what
about
Laker.
Lakers.
This is, and I hope you make this into a clip and it goes viral for all these fucking Laker haters out there, right?
Uh-huh.
They say we're delusional. They say we want to get everybody, but we do though. We do, right? They just can't fathom the fact that we could get Giannis, and most likely we probably will get Giannis because that's just how the NBA is. That's just how we are, right? When we got Pau Gasol, and if someone were to say a day before, because that trade came out of nowhere, right? Hey, we're gonna get Pau Gasol, and we're gonna give up Kwame Brown. Y'all would have said we were delusional, stupid, high, drunk, all that, right?
hmm
And if we said a day before it, like, it'll be crazy if we traded AD for Luca. Man, all you Laker fans are just the same, man. You guys want everybody. We get them, right?
hmm
Dwight Howard, like, even though the first Dwight Howard, um, time he came, it didn't work. It didn't work out, but we still got him though.
hmm
We get the players we want, right? So whether Luca or Giannis work out or don't work out, these fans, these haters, they just can't. They don't know what it's like to go root for a team that actually gets the players they want. You know?
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, we're spoiled. We're spoiled for a reason.
Yeah, we are. We're the Lakers. Like you said last. I was thinking about this last year when we were on the pod after the Luca trade, and I was saying how Lakers took Ingram, Hart, and Lonzo and flipped them for AD. Then 6 years later, took AD and flipped him for Luca. And you said only the Lakers, right? And that's a fact. Only the Lakers do this type of stuff. So you could never count out the
Yeah.
Lakers doing anything. Because the Lakers, you never know what the Lakers might do. And it's only the Lakers who do stuff like that, you know. So, but then about Draymond, I was surprised to see that Golden State was putting Draymond in the discussions. But I feel like it's one of those things where, bro, you know, I mean, Draymond's great. He's gonna, like Kurt said, he's gonna get a statue. He's gonna get his jersey retired, all that stuff. But he might have to get sacrificed here closer. He's like 35 now, 36, something like that, almost. To get Giannis, you might have to do what you have to do.
Well, well, again, not only that, but um, we um, again, Draymond is no longer that player anymore. Once they got rid of, or once they didn't resign Clay, I think they realized that Jimmy tore his ACL, and it's kind of like, well, listen, we're definitely gonna have to transition into the new the new era without Steph, or at least an older Steph, you know. Um, so it's almost like we got all the juice out of the lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon being Draymond. There's no more juice left in that lemon, so
Mm-hmm.
that's it. You know.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, Tony Parker didn't retire with the Spurs. Clay is
Hmm.
already gone from the Warriors.
And it just seems, especially with the whole, when him and Kerr got into it on the sidelines,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it's just more trouble than what it's worth,
Yeah.
you know.
Uh, Pippen left the Bulls, and then he came back and retired with the Bulls, but he did leave the Bulls and went to Portland, and then I went to Houston and went to Portland. Shaq didn't retire with Lakers traded Shaq to make way for
Yeah,
the
that's
new
what
the
I'm saying.
next way the next era.
Yeah,
Uh,
Shaq, who was still only what 33 at the time. I mean, he was a
32,
broken down 33,
yeah,
32. Draymond's what 36 now,
35,
37.
30. He's like 35. I think he'll be 36.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, the good thing about a player like Draymond is it seems like he'll age pretty well because, he was never really that super athletic player, anyways. But, but yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. I'm pretty sure the trading deadline's Thursday, so by the time we podcast, I'm pretty sure um, if there's like a superstar blockbuster trade, we'll probably podcast. But hopefully, for Lakers' sake, they don't trade Giannis because I believe they said on net this summer, not only will we have 100 million cap, but we'll have 2 or 3 first round
yeah,
picks.
two extra first round picks. Um,
Yeah, so hopefully, no other team, and who knows what. Look, I just said it. Laker fans are spoiled. Who doesn't want to come to LA, right? I'm pretty sure they could go to Luca's. Like, okay, for example, when Luca came from the time Luca got traded to today, is Luca a better player? No, right?
no,
He's just still same as good, right? But I get you, I bet if you go to Luca's team, his PR team and his managing team, and they say, hey, what has your brand? How has your brand, expanded since you came to the Lakers? I'm pretty sure it's like night and day what playing for the Lakers has done to his brand. Same with Giannis, you know.
mm-hmm. Okay, now you said everybody wants to come to LA, right? But James Harden, who's from LA, right, playing for the
Mm-hmm.
Clippers, last night out of nowhere, it's like James Harden wants to be traded. He's at Arizona State, his alma mater, at the game while the Clippers are at home getting beaten by the 76ers. That's James Harden
Mm-hmm.
for you. I think the issue is that I read that he wanted a contract extension for 2 years and 80
Mm-hmm.
million, and they don't want to give it to him because they're going to have a bunch of cap space in 2027. So they didn't want to do anything beyond this year or beyond the year coming up. Do you have any like? I mean, I don't know. That's just, but the great thing about James Harden is how many teams he's played for while still being good. Usually, when guys start bouncing around, it's like at the end, and they're not that good anymore. But James Harden is
Yeah.
still he averaged like 25 points and 8 assists this year, and he's already played for the Thunder, the Rockets, the Nets, the Sixers, and the Clippers, and now he's about to possibly go to his sixth team already, while still being a very good player.
Well, look at Durant.
Yeah,
Durant's bounced around. This will be his seventh, and he's willingly going to these teams. It's not like they're trading him
he
and they're
went
trying
from
to
the
get rid of
Thunder
him.
to the Warriors to the Nets to the Suns to the Rockets. So he's on his fifth team too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Honestly, I don't. These guys have their own reasons. It could be that it is strictly contract, but um, the thing is he played for the Clippers. The only player we could say that just did not want to be a Laker was Dwight Howard.
Hmm.
Other than Dwight Howard, what player have we heard wants to leave LA? I think Kobe, the time he wanted to leave LA was the first time in '07 was I feel like he was wasting his prime here, but he didn't want to leave LA just to leave LA, you know.
Hmm.
And who knows? Maybe he was just trying to see if the Lakers called their bluff, which they did. Maybe if Kobe doesn't demand that trade, we get complacent and we don't go out and seek Pau Gasol. You know, but Clippers are a whole nother story. They're the fucking dump of the LA.
Right. Now just
It's funny because if you put this on a clip and people who don't know that they're not from LA, it's almost like the Yankees and the Mets and the Giants and the Jets, right?
Mhm.
You have to be from LA to know why the Clippers they're in this brand new beautiful stadium, right? Into a dome. Tech savvy, just a great state, and it still feels like a second class organization, you know?
yeah,
And they've had really good teams, especially when the Lakers were down and out. Remember those the last Kobe year or 2 years, and then before LeBron came, we couldn't even sniff the Lakers. I mean the Clippers,
yeah.
and they were still a second-rate organization.
Just like the Chargers, we don't respect the Chargers here, really.
No,
I mean, this is a Rams town.
and the only reason why you root for the Clippers as opposed to the Lakers is because you just like the underdogs. It's not because you're a real Clipper fan.
Right, you want to be different. Um.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Okay, look, we got to speed through these other like the trades. Okay, so the Grizzlies traded Jaron Jackson, John Concar, Jack Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. to the Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and three future firsts. So the Grizzlies are rebuilding, and now the Jazz get Jaron Jackson, even though he can't start. Jaron Jackson averages like 4 fouls per game for his career. It's crazy. But I mean, I guess the Jazz will be better, but I don't know how much it'll matter. Um,
Which only means that Ja's next. Ja has to go in this trading deadline.
yes. Um, the Pistons got Kevin Herter from the Bulls, which I think is good because he's just another good player for the Pistons. And they sent out Jaden Ivey, so Jaden Ivey will go to the
That's a solid pickup for the Pistons. That
yeah.
could be if they make it to the NBA Finals. That could be one of those underrated
He somebody called him a sharpshooter.
pickups.
He's not really because I don't know why they didn't try to re-sign what's his name Beasley, but yeah, now they got Kevin Herter. Um, then Nick Vucevic got traded to the Celtics for Anthony Simons. They also swapped second round picks, the Celtics and the Bulls. So we'll see what other dominoes fall. But for the Celtics, you wonder if that's a move that could that trigger Jason Tatum's return if they feel like they can really they could take the East if they get their whole team together now with Vucevic. That was the missing piece was the center position. Um,
Would you risk it though, real quick? Would you risk it? What 27-year-old Tatum
I would probably wait.
risk it?
I probably would wait on Tatum because he got hurt. It was in May. It was in the second round of the playoffs. So
Yeah.
normally you wouldn't
Oh,
even think
it would be 12. It would be a full year though.
if he comes back in the playoffs. But
That's what I'm saying. I
but
would only I would only consider him if you're in the Western Conference final. I mean Eastern Conference Finals.
okay, yeah. But you see Halliburton not thinking about coming back. So um, he just got hurt like a month later. All right. So
Yeah.
then right here at the end, obviously the Super Bowl is on Sunday. Um, Galvis. What's your pick, bro?
I think the Seahawks are gonna win, man. It just seems like it's destiny for them to win this year. It looks like it's Sam Darnold's year to do it. You know, um, it's gonna be in a decent weather. It's definitely not gonna be snowing and cold and all that. I just think the um, the Seahawks top to bottom are just um, a more complete team.
Well, I mean that may be the case, but this is just one game. Personally, I feel like the Seahawks are being set up to fail. I don't know what the point spread is. I know that the Seahawks are a pretty heavy favorite, right? And I just feel like the Seahawks are not. I mean, we've seen this before. Like even 2007 Patriots, right? They were 18-0 and they lost to the Giants. When people are talking about the Seahawks, it's like the Seahawks are this unstoppable juggernaut, and I just don't. And like if the 2000 Patriots can be beat with Tom Brady at the absolute peak of his powers, I know the Seahawks can be beat with Sam Darnold. Now I like Sam Darnold because I'm a USC stan, right? And I enjoyed watching him at USC. I always thought that he would be like a bang or bust. I figured basically Sam Darnold would be like either Brett Favre, a Hall of Famer, super duper star MVP. Favre won 3 MVP. I thought Darnold would be maybe not 3 MVPs, but an MVP, or he would be like pretty much out of the league, like Zach Wilson or Josh Rosen. Instead, he started slow, but he was the Jets, right? Bounced around, and now he's 28-6 the last 2 years. He went 14-3 last year with the Vikings, and 14-3 this year. But I still keep, and he played better with the Vikings last year. But I still keep waiting the for him to like have another like in the playoffs last year and at the end of the season last year with the Vikings when he fell apart. I always expect that to happen with Sam Darnold, you know. And I just think that the way that they're building the Seahawks up and making it seem like the Patriots don't have a chance, kind of like remember when the Patriots faced the Rams for their first Super Bowl in 2001.
Yeah,
The Rams were the heavy favorites. They had Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. They had won 2 years before that, and nobody gave the Patriots a chance. This Patriots team, I think, is more talented. Maybe like the Patriots went what 13-4 or 14-3 themselves. You know, like
yeah.
that Patriots team that won that first Brady team, they won 11-5. This Patriots team won 13, 14 games. So it's a
I
really
think
good.
the only thing that scares me, not scares me, the only thing that if I'm a Patriots fan that worries me is, yeah, I know the weather wasn't the greatest, but you barely beat a team that had their second string quarterback. You can't say that um if Bo Nix doesn't play, they probably lose that game. And because of that, that's why I think the Seahawks are gonna win this. I'm not saying they're gonna win it easily, but I'm pretty confident that they are going to win. Um, just because, yeah, they won 10-7. Not like, again, I get it. The weather was really bad, but and Drake May didn't have a great game. You could say Stidham had a better game. Drake May was only 10 of 21 for 86 yards. Stidham was 17 of 31 for 133 yards. So I know you're kind of a Patriot homer just because, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. So, you know, um, I just, I don't. And here's the thing.
Though I'm not from Boston, let's make that clear.
Seattle did not have an easy road to the Super Bowl, right?
Mm.
The Patriots lucked out that Lamar got hurt, and therefore he wasn't able. He had to basically play perfect just to sniff the playoffs. They did it. Um, Joe Burrow got hurt, Patrick Mahomes wasn't in the playoffs, and Josh Allen, whether it was a catch or you could argue if they ruled that a catch and the Bills win, there's I don't think they're beating the Bills. Again, they barely beat a second string quarterback.
Galvis, give me a score.
Give you a score. Um, Seahawks 28, Patriots 17.
Okay. Well, I'll go Patriots. Patriots 20, Seahawks 17.
Sorry, you said Seahawks how much?
Patriots 20, Seahawks 17, or Patriots 17, Seahawks 14. One of the two. I think the
Are you
Seahawks. I think the Patriots win
are you
by.
willing to make a live wager on the air?
Go ahead, bro. I don't care.
All right, let's bet. You want to bet monetary value? How much is in your bank account? How much you want to bet?
Let's not even go there. We'll make the bet off air.
you know, we don't want to get rated by the feds, by the IRS. With the amount of money we're gonna bet, these guys they might be onto us.
Yeah. All right. Look.
Um,
No, I gotta end it, bro. What you got
yeah,
what?
go ahead, bro.
Huh? Are you done? Are you
No, no,
finished or are you
just
done?
yeah. Thank you guys for tuning out or tuning in to the newest version, the Wilson Report version 10.7. You know, yeah.
Okay. All right. So before we get out of here, just a reminder to hit that subscribe note. I'm sorry to hit that subscribe button next to the complete podcast network and to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network. You can also send feedback and mailbag questions to complete Lakers podcast at gmail.com. We are out.